Introducing symmetry. There's symmetry all around us in nature, in animals, and in flowers. There's also symmetry in people. If I draw a line down Barack Obama's face, you can see that the features on one side are the same as the others. It's the same in art. One half of this painting is the same as the other half. Same with this one. Then there's radial symmetry, where the symmetry starts at the center and moves out. Asymmetry is when both sides aren't exactly mirror images, but they still feel balanced. Asymmetry is really easy to see in an Alexander Calder mobile. A person can stand asymmetrically and still I'm not tipping over because I'm balanced. Can you have too much symmetry? I don't know. Why don't you ask this symmetrical pirate? Two hooks, 2 peg legs, 2 parrots, 2 patches. Sometimes you have to look for the symmetry. If I try to bisect this cow, it's not symmetrical until I look at it from another perspective. If I look at it from above, it's symmetrical. I've gathered some objects from around my house that are small and then I have a lot of. So I have some dried pasta, I have some dice, I have peanut M&Ms, I have some puzzle pieces, I have some bottle caps, googly eyes, and cotton balls. I'm going to put out a towel because this is a nice surface and my small objects won't roll away. So if I wanted to talk about symmetry using these objects, I might think of starting from a line in the middle and then have it be equal on either side. So if I just pick 2 dice and I start on my line, maybe I just put them right there. And maybe some cotton balls there. And a couple of M&Ms right there. And it's starting to come together. The more objects I put on here, the more they make sense to me. This is a really fun thing to do. You know, even just kind of playing around, you know, if you have, sometimes I do this when I just kind of want to space out and fidget for a little bit. You know, it's kind of fun. It's weird, but it's fun. And I like weird. That's kind of pretty. I could do this exact same thing with radial symmetry, which if I think about a dot in the middle of my page or my towel, and I just sort of, you know, work out a little bit. Let's say I start, I'm just going to put 1 bottle cap right there. So I've got that, and now I'm just going to kind of play around a little bit. That kind of seems like a circle. There we go. cool. Let's try to add a pattern to this butterfly using some of our objects. And if I put one there, I'm going to put one over there. Same thing right there, and same thing right there. I like the objects that I've chosen, that I've gathered from around my house. They're all pretty small, but some of them are smaller, and it allows me to sort of add little bits of decoration like this, using some googly eyes as just some little dots. And when I'm doing this, I am thinking about, you know, what a butterfly might look like, but I'm also kind of just inventing my own butterfly. That to me seems pretty fun. And look, I'm coming up with a symmetrical butterfly decorated with cool things from around my house. Let's talk about how to draw something like this, because there's actually a really easy way to draw something that looks equal on both sides. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put that over there for a minute. And this piece of paper, I am going to fold in half by lining up the corners of my paper and then going like that. And I am going to draw, if I open this up, I'm gonna first start my drawing on this side of the page. So I'm gonna hold it like that, and I'm gonna look at just this half of the drawing. So I'm just gonna cover it like that. With a pencil, I'm gonna do my best. It doesn't have to be exact. I'm just using this as a reference. I am going to draw the body of a butterfly. And like that. And maybe I'll kind of give it the same thing. So once I have that, I'm going to go over it with a marker. Now I'm just gonna push this away for a moment. And this all seems kind of strange. If you didn't have a marker and you wanted to use a colored pencil to make your lines darker, it's fine. As long as you go over it with something that's a little bit darker than a pencil. It'll make sense in the next step. So I'm just gonna leave that like that for right now. And what we're gonna do is we are gonna draw this image on this side of the paper, but we have to go upstairs and find a window. So now I'm at a window over here, and I have my drawing. And what I'm gonna do is, instead of holding it on the side where my drawing is, I'm gonna flip it around, I'm gonna hold it up, and you can see what happens. The window actually works as sort of light box. And if I hold my paper here, I can simply trace my lines. You want to be careful when you are using this technique that you don't press too hard on your window. But if it's a sunny day, even if it's as long as it's daytime, this always works. And so now that I have my drawing copied from here, I can go over it with my marker. That's really fun. Once you have your butterfly drawn out like this, you can certainly use objects and place them around, or you can use some colored pencils and you can make your own design. The only thing that you want to be sure of when you're, since this is a lesson about symmetry, is that if you make a design over here, you got to do the same thing over there. And if you get really involved in something like this and forget to do it over here, that's okay. You can just take this and put it up against your window and kind of outline some of your design objects and then go back to coloring. And here is my designed butterfly. You can see I just kind of made up an interesting pattern. And if I did something here, I did it there. If I did something there, I did it there, and so on. You can see where everything kind of connects. I even did the backgrounds kind of this. I try to do the same. And this is really fun. And it's difficult because, you know, a lot of times when we're drawing, we just want to like kind of color and kind of go to town. But this, I had to really think like, okay, if I'm doing something there, I got to do it over there. And in doing so, I created a symmetrical butterfly. Here is another way that we can think about symmetry. If I fold this paper in half, I can then use a scissors and I can start to cut some interesting shapes. And I'm making it all up, right? I am holding the paper together, so I'm cutting two pieces, like the two folded halves at the same time. You do have to be careful that you don't, you know, rip it. But you can, you know, your cuts can be as intricate as you want to make them. I didn't really come up with like a super intricate pattern because I just wanted to show this to you. So I have this right here. This is my folded piece of paper. And if I open it up, look how cool that is. Look at that symmetry. I could try this another way where I fold my paper in half. Now I'm going to fold it a second time. And if I make cuts on all four sides, I think I'm still going to have something that's kind of cool and symmetrical. You have to be really careful that you don't cut through something. Let's see what this looks like. Look at how cool that is. It is all totally symmetrical. To recap, let's go over the 5 ways I have shown you how to do a lesson that helps to learn about symmetry. We can arrange objects in a bilateral symmetrical way. We can draw out a butterfly. We can arrange objects on a butterfly like that. We can draw it and then design a pattern on a butterfly. And we have done some construction paper cutouts with folded paper. I think this is really fun, and you're going to have a lot of fun with this.